Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Okay, I'm going to leave that 1 foot up there and both hands down about the 4th rung up.
To understand what brought us to the moon, let us rewind a couple of years. On the 4th of October, 1957, the Soviet Union became the first nation to send a satellite to space with their Sputnik 1. The Soviets managed to take the lead in the race for space, a lead they would only solidify in the coming years. They were the first to send a living creature to space, Laika. They were the first to send man to space, Yuri Gagarin. And they were the first to send something to the moon. Although Alan Shepard would travel to space only 3 weeks after Gagarin, the Soviets were clearly in the lead.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
With the embarrassment of always being second in space, America set out to be the first to reach another world. America would put man on the moon before the end of the 1960s. To achieve the promise of reaching the moon, NASA began working on the challenges surrounding such an endeavor. This would come to be done in the Apollo program. The program would lead to the creation of the Saturn V rocket, one of the most impressive pieces of technology ever created by man. The first crewed flight was the Apollo 7 mission in 1968. Initially, an earlier crewed flight was planned, but a tragic accident resulting in the death of the Apollo 1 crew caused delays as the safety had to be worked over. With Apollo 8, 9, and 10 having tested circumnavigating the moon and tried the lunar module, both in Earth orbit and lunar orbit, the program was ready to face the challenge of putting man on the moon. The crew were now in space, and preparations for the trip to the moon began. A trip that would take about 3 days one way. As the lunar module left, Michael Collins became the loneliest man in history as he stayed to command the command module. The surface was not as they had expected when they were going down to land, so Neil Armstrong had a very limited time to find a new spot. Otherwise, the mission would be a failure.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Hello, Neil and Buzz. I'm talking to you by telephone from the Oval Room at the White House. And this certainly has to be the most historic telephone call ever made. I just can't tell you how proud we all are